Hi there. So I've just finished an amazing conversation with Tanja, and I'm so excited to share what we talked about as soon as possible. Unfortunately or fortunately, the video is very interesting because somehow we lose Tanja in the video as she talks with her knowledge and wisdom. I really want to share it as fast as possible and have decided to overlook my normal perfection program and put it out instead. The words are inspiring, her knowledge is powerful, and it would be a shame to try to refilm this just so that it can look better. So enjoy. If you feel inspired, I would really appreciate if you would like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much. So, welcome to this channel, and thank you so much for taking the time to click and possibly be very curious about what you're going to see coming up. My name is Saira, and today I have a very special lady here with me who I just love to share all her knowledge and everything she chooses to share with us today because she's been a real life changer for me. So, Tanja, can you explain a little bit what you're doing and who you are and how you get there?
So my name is Tanja Latussek. I'm trained as a core energetics therapist, which is a body-centered psychotherapy. So we work with the energy flow in the body. I'm also trained as a breathwork facilitator, which is our main energy source, breathing. And I combine the two modalities to help people to find out what they really want to do in their life and to get them into the direction and make good choices for themselves.
What I really found was new, and I think I just didn't know this, and I felt like a bit like apparently everybody knows but me, is when you said to me, it's like you said, you're not in your body. And we need to get you in your body, and not all at the same time. Now, maybe there's some people out there who are maybe as naive as me. What does it mean when you're not in your body? And as we work together, we also realize it's possibly I've been out of my body my entire life. So what does that mean?
Yeah, I hope I didn't address it so directly.
No, you didn't. But your words were very, very. They always got me thinking, what does that mean? You know, you said a lot of things where I was like, I feel like a complete new person who has no idea how she's navigated her life. Obviously, from an out of body way, but I thought I'm fine. I've been successful, had super experiences. Yeah. So, what does it mean when you're out of your body?
That you're actually not really present and conscious to the happenings in your body, and you're trying to most likely solve your life problems through thinking or planning, instead of listening to all the information your body can provide for you, because our brain is not only situated in the head, that's the processing unit, but it's extended throughout our entire body through the nervous system. So there's so much information we can gather consciously through observing what's going on in the body, like the sensations in the body, the feelings in the body, like is there contraction, expansion, am I getting hot, or do I feel freezing cold? Also emotions, which are feelings, like the story we wrap around the feeling, the physical sensation. And we work as co-energetic therapists, we work on all layers, on the physical, on the mental, on the emotional, on the spiritual, intellectual, like the whole process.
Yeah. And so we were also talking about it. So let's say I can say, well, a lot of my life I've possibly done with my head. Of course, I've had feelings and I've had emotions, I've cried. But this being in the body was a totally different game. And and it was just almost like I got little pieces of me back, but I didn't know what they were. I never know. And then you said you've probably been out for a long time based on your childhood, possibly for someone like me, for my level, too dangerous. Maybe somebody else it's not. I'm not sure how this works. Can you talk a little bit how your childhood surroundings it's not the surroundings' fault, it's maybe how sensitive the child is, the coping mechanisms. You said to me something really amazing, like it was probably safer for you to be out than in.
That would take it really far. That's probably not something I can explain in this format, because that would go really deep, but it's based on the Riken character structures. So it's something that is a really in-depth study of how the body responds to an environment that's not meeting our needs, our rightful needs, we have to say, in different stages of our childhood development. And it starts in utero, in the mom's womb, and then it goes through the birthing process, like the first couple of months up to 1 year, like how well are we nourished, how much space have we been given, like in the next stage, to expand ourselves and to discover our environment, and how stable was our environment, how supportive was it for expressing ourselves like as we truly are, like, not in what we achieve, but what we bring to the world with our authentic personalities.
Okay.
Because we want to fit in our environment, we start modulating our personalities around what we perceive as being welcome. And we kind of abandon a little bit what we think is not welcome.
Okay, so we are constantly trying to build a personality at a very early age that's feeling welcomed. And it doesn't matter what the personality is, it's what you have chosen to be yours. Some people become overgivers and perfectionists. Yes. Some people become like underachievers and pity party people. It's just whatever you found.
Whatever belief system we created around what we experience and what we were told in our environment. And we might have built some belief systems around ourselves that helped us in that environment at that time, but that are not helpful anymore. But we still bring them forward because they are subconscious. Like we think this is us, but it might not be true until we experience, oh, it's not, there's some pattern in my life that's not serving me.
Right.
And you start addressing it. And more often than not, you will find out there's something that originates in your childhood.
Yeah, so when I discovered you in January or February, I was very lucky because you were teaching the classes and it was sort of quiet period of time where nobody was there, so I got like semi-privates with you, what I did, and I really found the benefits of that. So I've done breath work and I've done the grounding in a course once before and breath work a few more times, which was powerful. And just my personal experience, so I'm not saying this is everywhere. I know there's lots of breathwork people out there and it's all amazing. For me, who I was, where I needed to go, my extreme sensitivity, I noticed and felt it's just very, very beneficial for me to be alone with you to get my full value. And I'm not saying it's not if you don't. I found for me personally, when I was doing these in groups, I was more addicted to the catharsis part. So it's like this release, and I wasn't getting enough guidance where to go, or if the integration or the ability to ask questions or something was really, really powerful for me, as opposed to just feeling it and being almost addicted to that feeling.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Happen. yeah, we usually go to what we are used to. Right? So if we had an early environment that was very high pitched, where we kind of get used to a certain adrenaline level.
Right.
And the world feels very boring if we don't have that. So we,
Yes.
so we
Yes.
might kind of create things we don't consciously intend to create that bring that excitement and that kind of feelings back.
Right.
And that energy levels is kind of, which feel like excitement, but they might not serve us anymore.
And so I was still thinking that what the outside exciting is what is normal or healthy for me, but I still wasn't feeling the peace till I met you, in a sense. And then you would say, like, you have to feel it to heal it.
Yes.
And that was new.
Yes, because as the pattern is subconscious, like if we don't address it in ourselves, we tend to recreate a very similar story again and again. It looks different from the start of, but in the end you find out it's like
it's the same thing.
Same play, different costumes.
Right.
So,
but the thing was, I would have possibly continued the pattern because even though I can see it and I keep going back to it, my body was still wanting it. So as I did the work with you to feel it, to heal it, you kept saying, when you release this, then you can allow your natural happiness hormones to come. And I felt as I released it more and this higher level of my natural state came, that whole thing or anything to do with that was just no longer attractive. I mean, I lost some friends and some people on the way because it was more like,
that happens, yes.
Yes, but it was like I didn't understand because I mean I still liked them, but my body, the chemistry in my body had changed. Like I'm just attracted not just for a sense of safety. I was just like attracted to people who are calm, who have certain values or can communicate, and it just changed everything because the chemistry in my body. And this is why, again, for someone who's completely as innocent as I am, what came
so
in my body? What is this chemistry? Because I've done like stuff with Joe Dispenza, you change the chemistry in your head and then it happens in your body, but this was something totally different.
So we are holding, how to explain that in a simple way. If we don't want to feel certain feelings, we suppress feeling them by reducing our breathing and tensing our muscles. So this is the technique we use to not feel it. So we suppress it into the body, we push it down. So that it's out of our conscious mind. And then if we do that repetitively, like we just kind of store it away somewhere in the cellar, in the body, and don't tend to touch it anymore. And then we forget about it until it starts raising its head as these patterns we don't want to see in our life, but that keep reappearing. And then there's one more thing, because we often also have to be told not to be too happy. Why don't you sit down as nicely as that child on the next table? Don't. Our exuberance was kind of limited and stopped and kind of controlled. So, as human beings, we might be as scared of our joyful expression as we are scared of the feelings that are labeled like unpleasant.
Yes.
Like grief and sadness and anger. Anger is a big one, and
so
it holds a lot of energy.
Yes.
Right? Also,
Can you talk about anger?
It's not so very welcome because a lot of people don't know what to do with it. It's usually connected to violation of our boundaries, our personal boundaries, and we don't know how to protect them. So we put more energy out to kind of communicate, I don't want this. If we don't feel heard for whatever reason, or if our way of communicating cannot be received from who we communicate to, we might raise the level a little bit and kind of start shouting, which still doesn't get the message across, but then we start being blamed, right?
Yes.
For like our expression, and we only don't know better. Like we don't know healthier and ways how to express our anger and get our healthy boundaries restored.
Because also I know how to navigate anger and how to take responsibility. You once told me, just when I said to you, I said, how do you do it? You're like, yeah, I go for a walk, or you have all these tools which you'll use, and you'll be able to navigate this anger wherever it's supposed to go without waiting till the next pillow and a human being comes along.
Yes, and also knowing your healthy boundaries. Just knowing when somebody gets too close, or something gets too close and you don't like it. If you see it coming, you can address it at a very early stage. You don't have to wait until you feel threatened or scared or invaded. You can kind of tell somebody to stay at the distance you need to feel in integrity with yourself.
And then this is what, like, when I was working with you, we always did it like small. Like you would always say, let's bring, as you're healing, let's bring your power back slowly and integrate it. And then you would always say, then go out and explore what you create with it. Can you elaborate? I mean, it's also for me, like, instead of going full in a course and doing all this release and then thinking I have to go back, usually I went back, I was like, okay, it's a temporary fix. Like I would create something for a little while. And what we were doing, we were slowly, like changing it. And I feel like my power is back in my body as opposed to what there was there before. I'm still not sure what it was before, but I know you call it like trauma response or my mask or whatever it was.
Yeah, we always have to bring it back home, right? If we
Yes.
want to change, we cannot change the environment. We have to change ourselves and our response to the environment, because this is where our power lies. And like when you steer a ship, right, and you see, oh, the direction is off, and I would rather go here because there's a big rock. I want to navigate around the rock. You don't, also in the car, you don't do that. Not only in ships. You then kind of pull the steering wheel abruptly, but you take control slowly, and this is where choice comes, and you see where you want to go, and then you slowly turn that way, and you check, is this really the direction I want to go, or am I a little too far? Or you so like steering whatever vehicle is not just holding on to the course, but is kind of gently adjusting to, and then saying, oh, that looked nice, but actually there's a roadblock there, so all right. You learn to navigate more gracefully, but therefore you need to be in your body. This is where we come to the grounding part. You need to have your attention to all your feelings in your body. How do you know you're off course? How does that feel when it doesn't feel quite right? And to really observe what is it that doesn't feel right? What is it that doesn't sit to me? So this is where we have to slow it down, to not go into reaction, but to be able to really respond to every moment again and again. So to not go rigid and say, oh, this is where I want to go. Just go there, but to gracefully navigate through the jungle that we call life, right?
Yes. And so when I hear that, I feel like it's like very similar, not one-to-one from like this Buddha state, or it's more like you really are just gracefully moving, and you end up somewhere and don't like here, there, and it's just feels so much calmer and more peaceful, but maybe even having really beautiful experiences. So how can this be an invitation? I mean, I'm so excited about it. I'd love to invite everyone, but do you? So it's sort of, but I mean, I guess when I was in, my body had the other chemistry, if somebody would have said, I would be like, yeah, I'll get that. So do you think it's usually a big pain point, or a few pain slaps, as I call them, come for us to say, I need to change? Because we're so used to that anyway.
It's a choice. Also, co-energetics is not only for people that are in deep pain,
exactly.
But it's
so
like
you can actually say this inspires.
Is the limit, really.
Yeah.
I mean, to really say like, so I love this quote from John Pirag. Energetics is to increase your capacity to love. That's one of my favorite quotes ever.
To increase your capacity to love.
Yeah. And also you're zest for, I get goosebumps too. You're zest for life, like that you really want to be here in this body, in this life, both feet in, like, and you can still have your head in the clouds. But you want to immerse yourself in this experience. You don't want to stand at the sidelines. Once in a while you might want to choose, and this is like, I want to put the emphasis on the word choosing, to step back and to observe what you have created and then kind of go back in. But you don't want to be a spectator in your own life experience. Yes. You want to be an active participant.
Right, yes. That's powerful. So how does this fit in when we say, like, I'm just the observer? I'm flowing, I'm the observer, as opposed to I'm navigating my ship.
Yeah. You don't have so much steering power, have you?
As
you don't have so much leverage. You might want to choose that. You might want to go up to the, what is that called on a boat? When you go up on the mast and you kind of get the overview, and you want to check for obstacles on the way, and then you come back down and then you start steering again. But you don't want to let just abandon your boat. Right? For a long time, you want to be in charge of where you're navigating, if you can.
And without that meaning that you're controlling. So it's more like your body is taking you, but you're not controlling also, right? There's a bit of a difference, would you say?
Well, you take charge of your own experience. You can't control. You have very little power to control your environment, what's around you. Yeah, the weather is coming and going, and if you're in your car, like the landscape is doing, like it you can't tell the rain to go away. You can wish it to go away, but like people that try to exert control is usually trying to exert control over what's happening around them.
Yes.
Not over their response to it.
Okay. And what is the deeper reason why we would like to control our response to the situation by controlling the situation?
Because we basically feel insecure and we don't trust the process. So I guess the last step in our life is like really kind of falling into life,
right.
And trusting that it's an experience that's designed for us to be cherished and enjoyed, even if it doesn't always feel like that.
Yes, that's how I feel. Like actually, if you are controlling your entire environment and controlling your responses, you're not actually living life.
No.
And even though, you know, you might be going on that great holiday, or you might be going, I don't know, having all these pleasurable experiences, but they are actually by controlling the environment and not responding in this deeper way of like the depth of life. And that means some of your belief systems are shattered, or somebody disappoints you, or something didn't turn out. But that's the depth of life. That's what I've realized. It's fine. If you don't know, if you don't try, you'll never know. And that's what I found more, that I've done this work, that zest for life, that like, what have you got to lose, becomes more and more prominent.
Yeah, it's kind of choose direction and then surrender. You know, trust that you're going to get there. You know, and then does it look like kind of, is it still like in line with what I was looking for? Then relax a little bit. Also, we have to find that balance between just going for something and relaxing and leaning back and checking out, is this what I want? Because like while we are going, you know, we might see, oh, there might be something even better on the horizon, you know, I didn't even know existed. So we might, so somebody who's really controlling, they just have the vision on this. There's not much space for left and right, and for the little stops on the roadside, and even like, so, oh, well, do you have a spare day? You know, maybe we go to the right and explore something that is really exciting, that was not in the control channel in the first place.
Wow. And one more question. What you said was really powerful. I said, you know, as I got more and more excited about this new way of living in my body, and the body chemistry, and also feeling, I said to you, why doesn't everybody do this? And also, as we age, this would be so beautiful, because we'd all just be happy. And because
it would be so easy.
I know, I came to you like that. I was like, how can we all do this? And I was just like, wow, because as a teenager, it's easy. Life hasn't taken away all that joy from you. Maybe you have a phase where your marriage or business or some phase which is going well, but then when that goes, it's almost like something stops, and then I felt like if you don't get the zest back, and you can go into what you said, like being bitter, and just go into that whole module. And so I would like you to just explain that again. That was really powerful, when you're like, it's choice also at that stage.
Yeah, you choose for yourself that you deserve something better than where you are now.
Right.
There's no time limit, no age limit to that, to redirect the course of your life.
Yes.
And we never know what's around the corner. Yeah. So it needs mobilizing some energy and getting the energy flowing, and really looking into all the feelings and emotions we abandoned because they were uncomfortable and we didn't want to feel them. And the truth is, we have to feel it to heal it, right?
Yes.
Like, because it's like two sides of the same coin, right? If we suppress like the feelings that are more challenging, and that might be the physical sensations that might be connected to a history that didn't have a pleasurable outcome, we tend to start avoiding that, so we suppress it. But with suppressing this side of the feeling side, of the grief and the tears and the anger. We suppress the other side to the joy and the lightness and the belly laughs, like we might suppress the tears up there, but we at the same time suppress this kind of free expression of kind of joy for life and for just being here and having the opportunity to to breathe and to pop around.
Right. So what is happening there? Just like I felt like sometimes when we went into very, very unpleasant and scary areas of my stuff, and you were a great caretaker or a holder of that space, and then we went through it. I knew I'd make it, but and on the other side, the next day, I'm like, wow, it's gone, and I felt always this next level of joy and it's almost like, okay, shall we stop for a while, because I don't know if I can hold anymore. I might be alone in my little Disney world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So but what is it that's coming then? It's like source energy. Was it my original state when I came to the planet, like this little child who people say like shh? That's why we tell kids like, I just feel all the energy. So is it what was on top? What's actually
what
happening?
was suppressed? The primal the primal energy that couldn't be expressed and couldn't be lived through, that we push down in the body. So when we free that, we free that denied life force. So it can experience itself more free. It can run through the body more freely, because we kind of tend to block the energy flow in certain areas to hold it together, to not feel it. So once we work with the body and free that energy flow, this innate happiness we have when our energy is flowing freely can express itself. And this brings me back to the very beginning, where you said, we were working really slowly, where I said, you want to experience that flow of energy, and you want to build that container that is for that life energy to flow freely in your body, and to be able to contain it, to choose where you want to use it and where you want to spend it and who you want to spend it with.
Amazing. It was just such a wonderful experience, because what you say, we store it, but we're not actually even aware, because we have a whole character or personality that's built to store it and to show the world it's not there. And I think last year I was with a sport therapist, and he was actually taking care of my son. And he said, come here. So he laid me down on the table, and he just touched a little bit. And I started getting tears, because he just knew, I don't know, he was some mystical man. And he said, so woman, if you don't sort what you're storing there, you're not going to live for long. And I remember thinking, like, what does he know? And I remember your teacher, Ranil, also saying to me at the course, he's like, I see where you're hiding. It was very interesting, because I didn't even know I was. And the whole world, of course not. But when we started working, I was like, wow. And so for this, I just want to say that sometimes we might not even know it. But if you are not feeling unconditional joy and love and happiness, without needing to dance 1 hour in the morning, without needing to run and do all those things, which I still do, it might mean you might be storing things, and you might be interested, or maybe doing some sort of core energetics work to get to this state where it's like free happiness. It's unconditional, and it's beautiful.
And it's uninhibited self-expression is being who you came for. Right? Because the last stage in core energetics is also finding your life purpose. Why were you put here? What does the universe want you to express and bring to this experience? Because it's a deeply spiritual practice. So it expanded from bioenergetics, where Alexander Lowen and John Pierrakos were working together based on the Riken character structures, or their teacher, and seeing how certain holding patterns, tension patterns in the body, let us understand certain emotional states, or track it back to certain emotional states where with movement and exercise and breathing and voicing, sounding, we can free that trapped primary energy, free it up and allow it to flow again in the system.
Wow. Thank you so much for your time. And I hope this has ignited some sort of expression, some sort of desire in you. I'm going to put Tanja's website down below, and maybe we can do a Q&A next time, and you guys can send some questions you have, and then I'll run them by Tanja and give you some answers. Maybe if she wants to come again. But thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to click like and subscribe and share. Okay, thank you. Bye.